Give me a check.
Check.
There we go.
Oh, this is so cool.
All right. Okay. So we are rolling on the Pagey train. I think we're rolling. Just double check. Yeah, we're rolling. Yeah, right. Okay. So welcome to the Pagey train, guys. Brought to you by Still Searching Productions. Today I have with me Adrianne Gullotta, aka Adrianne. What was that?
Armida. Yes.
Welcome, Adrianne.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah.
My first podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's my first as well.
Oh, it's all good. I couldn't notice. So.
But look, I've gotten you on the show today because you're certainly an ambassador for actresses in Western Sydney, and you know, just media arts in general. You know, you've just started up a photography business.
I have. So that's under my name, Adrianne Armida.
Mm-hmm.
I specialise in portraiture. Absolutely love it. I feel like on this acting, film production kind of pathway I've been on since I was about 15, it kind of was always going to happen, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I know about 2 years ago, it clicked to me that I absolutely love being behind the camera and capturing those moments, and I feel like I've got the eye for it as well, and I'm a people person, so portraiture was just a supernatural thing.
Okay. Because I actually met you behind the camera, not in front of the camera.
That's right.
It was for a TVS production in that really big studio, which it's gone now, unfortunately.
So sad.
But what was that show? It was the Y Generation.
The Y Generation.
Yeah. I was training you as a floor manager.
Yeah. And I'm basically stuck in that role like for almost the entire season. I loved floor managing. It was great. I don't know. I love being all hands on deck and kind of being across everything and being in a fast-paced kind of role. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, having the director in your ear, but then also kind of being able to kind of be the director, like while he's kind of cutting stuff and watching everything. That was really, really fun.
Yeah, well, it was. You took to it like a duck to water. You did a really good job.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, also had a great team. It was that was one of the best times of my life. I loved every second of that. I would do that like forever.
Yeah, it is a cool job. It is definitely a cool job, but it's a pressure job as well. Like I have burnt through a few floor managers before. I must say. I don't know if I'm a slave driver. I think I'm an approachable dude. I'm just a bit demanding.
You're an approachable slave driver.
Perfect. Nate, when you're listening to this, sorry, dude. Get well soon, man. Get well soon. Big shout out to Nate.
Shout out to Nate. Haven't met you, but I will one day, hopefully, if you recover. So, yeah.
So back to photography. So how long again have you been doing that?
Well, I started my business at the beginning of this year, so January, but then in the last year prior to that, I would probably say that's when I realized it's what I wanted to really do. A lot of it, I actually probably spent most of last year traveling a lot, and that kind of brought it out of me. So
obviously, because I'm traveling, you're taking photos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I just fell in love with just people watching and really like delving into different cultures and the way everyone kind of works, and I don't know, loved it. Loved capturing that kind of stuff.
Well, I think I'm a bit of a people watcher. Like when I go to a cafe or a pub, I tend to pick a seat where I'm looking at the entire establishment.
Yeah. The best.
Yeah, I don't know why I do that.
It's highly entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, being an actor as well, like the human psyche fascinates me, and I always am observing and wanting to understand and learn more about just the way people tick and stuff. And watching them is it's, you know, I think it's a thing if you're into film. You know, you're just that way inclined. You're curious.
Yeah, I think I certainly like different characters. I'm really into characters.
You are a character.
Yeah.
You know?
Just because you are a character doesn't mean you have character. Yeah. I remember that movie now. Yeah, that's Pulp Fiction.
Of course.
Say goodnight, Raquel. Good night, Raquel.
Good night, Raquel.
Yeah.
I love that film.
Yeah, it is pretty good. But moving on to your acting roles, you've done a few. I remember years and years ago, your first film that I saw you in, Impact. Yeah, for 2016 Made in the West. Like, this is early days Made in the West, like during the transition.
That's early days, but then I did 2 prior with Daryl Kip Bondad, DK Bondad.
See that last name right there? I'm terrible with last names, so big shout out to Daryl. Gonna net you for the show too, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always get his last name wrong.
Yeah.
Always.
It's pretty easy, Hopefully you remember it now. We'll see when he...
So how do you say it again?
Bondad.
Bondad.
Yes.
Yeah, no, but what's the first part of it?
DK. So Daryl Kip Bondad.
Daryl Kip Bondad.
Yeah,
okay.
that's it.
Because when I read it, my mind just goes... But look, it's not just his name, it's everyone's last name. I'm terrible with last names.
Well, like halfway through uni, I had studied at NIDA from the age of 14 till about 20.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I spent every weekend I possibly could at that school, mostly because I wanted to push myself and kind of just go into it in the best way I could. And also because my school, it always got dropped because we had a really small grade and there were never enough people to fill it up, which really sucked for me. But I loved it. And then I kind of stopped acting for a little while. I had done like a couple of plays and short kind of things and like an ad or two. And then I took a break. And then halfway through the uni course, I think it was 2014, 2013, Daryl was like, oh, if you used to do it, if you love it, how about you like make something with me? And I was like, absolutely, let's just do it. And it's weird. I think life just brings you to these moments like where things are supposed to happen. You're supposed to meet certain people. And if I didn't meet my friends at uni, my life would be so different. And I would have done like these films. I probably would have kind of let it slide a little bit. But we did City by the River. That would have been, I'm pretty sure that would have been the first one maybe that we had.
Yeah, okay.
And then The Thing About You.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then Impact was like, that was with Chris Collins who wrote and directed, and I accidentally get kidnapped / hit.
Oh, was it because you were hit by a car and then they panic and they put you in the boot and then you end up tied up in their house? Yeah. A fun story.
It was a very fun story. That was a lot of fun to film. I hadn't done anything like that before, and I want to do something like that again. Actually, I might be soon, but we'll get to that later. But I love being bloodied up and having to get into this mindset of, oh my God, these people are going to kill me. It was a lot of fun.
So you like the nitty gritty sort of stuff like that, the granular.
Love the nitty gritty. Cannot handle blood in real life at all. Like if I see it, my arms will go limp and I'll probably pass out and have an anxiety attack. But if it's all fake, I'm all for it. I'm actually the other way. Yeah. When I see something gruesome on screen, I always wince, like, oh yeah. But if someone had broken their arm, I'm the first person to be helping them, or like I'm everyone's first aider. Well, you know what? I did first aid once, completely forgot it the next day, and then I remember like one time someone did need help, and it just all escaped my mind, and I was like, "Someone help! I can't do this." I don't know. I get way too scared. If it's real, like really realistic in movies, then it does gross me out, but otherwise I'm alright. Yeah,
when trouble knocks like that, I just tend to become calm and just deal with it. And I go into director mode. You go do this, and I'll assist with this, and then start bandaging them up, whatever's needed. But yeah, on film, sometimes I wince, so I just think that's weird. Terrified of needles. Can't stand needles, man.
Hate them.
Can't handle it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They just make me cry. Straight up. Not a fan.
I'm very uncomfortable with needles. Very uncomfortable with them.
Well, if anyone needs someone to call 000, Ross is your man.
Well, I can administer. If I needed to give someone an injection, I could do that.
Okay.
But when it comes to seeing it on screen or happening to me, no, can't handle it. I'll faint.
Maybe I should try and play someone that happens a lot. Exposure therapy. Maybe I'll get over it.
Yeah. Oh, perhaps.
Maybe.
Okay, well, speaking of Daryl, though, you guys do these movie posters
Yes.
online. They pop up every once in a while, and I always have a cackle at them. Like, how do you find time to do that? Like,
Daryl, like, he's an absolute magician. We used to make them all the time. Like, he'd just get an idea and then go, okay, pose, do this, and then literally, like, that evening, there'd be some amazing fake poster. There's like 20 movies that don't exist but that should.
Mm-hmm. They're always hilarious.
Yeah.
The poses that you guys do and the work that goes into it. Like,
They're so in detail.
Yeah,
we've had,
they look like movie posters.
Yeah, they look legit. Like,
Yeah.
we could actually pay for ad space, like in Hoyts or something, or event cinemas, and put them up.
Yeah, definitely event cinemas.
Definitely event cinemas. And people would probably think it was real.
Yeah, I always get a kick out of it.
Me too.
Because and as well, I don't know, you just see this group of people having a whole bunch of fun as well, and that's always very cool as well.
Seriously, we all through uni we referred to ourselves as the 20-somethings, and I don't know how I got so lucky to meet such a like-minded, fun group of people, especially when you get to make films with your friends like that. We all work really, really hard. We don't muck around, but we at the same time we enjoy every single second. I don't know how I got so lucky, but it's phenomenal, and we need to make more of those posters.
Yeah, I think so.
Make some more.
Well, I think something else that resonates with that, when you guys come to Made in the West, you always do the bathroom photo. I think that's hilarious
Shout
as
out
well.
to Matt Bella.
Yeah, big shout out, Maddie.
Bathroom selfie.
Yeah, the
That
bathroom selfie.
always happens.
I was privileged. I got to be in the bathroom selfie last year. Yeah.
It is a privilege. It gets bigger every year, I've noticed, to the point where hopefully like the bathrooms are big enough to accommodate to get everyone in the photo.
Or maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's good to have them all crammed in there into this little mirror. You know?
Yeah, it just emphasises how many people want to get in on this thing.
That's right. I don't know. I felt a bit terrible with my photo because sometimes when you get a photo taken of you and you just have the wrong face. Like, I had this cross-eyed thing going on. I was like, because I was looking at the mirror, looking at the camera, looking at the mirror, and both my eyes have gone like that. So yeah, I think someone in my family's like, "Why are you cross-eyed? And like, what, have you got a lazy eye?" I'm like, no, it's just a dicky photo.
It's great. Look,
Great photo, but I'm being dicky in the photo.
From a photographer's POV, it adds like levels. It adds, character. So it's fantastic. There's always next year and this year.
Yeah, this year's coming up. The entries are rolling in, by the way.
I cannot wait to see what comes out because it always blows me away.
Yeah, I just can't believe that we've gotten it onto that screen. It's like I was talking about it with Misty last week, and it's just amazing how far it's come. Like, I remember we used to have a projector.
Yeah.
On the floor in front of an abandoned old cinema, right? So it's this rundown cinema that no one ever used anymore, right? And I'd go up and push the space bar for the next film, right? So it's gone from that to being on a projector that I borrowed from a guy in Coffs Harbour, right?
Okay.
Okay, just cause, why not?
Why not?
And it's gone from that to being on this like $4 million projector, 4 stories high. It's just insane.
It is.
It's just insane. And we started out a protest as well. Like, we weren't getting looked after. We just wanted to show our movies.
I love it.
And there's no way to get because if you put on a movie, right, a 20-minute film or a 5-minute film, whatever the duration, you get 50 people there to watch a 5-minute film. What do you do then?
Yeah, it's true.
You got to stack movies around it, and that's sort of that's another thing that fueled it. But then it's just run out of control. There's this thing that I have to do now.
Ew, it's such a burden.
It is. Look, for instance, a venue change. That's a year's work. That's a year's work changing a venue, right?
You get there, like it grows every year, but then people very often forget that that whole 12 months building up to that has been.
Yeah, it's every weekend.
Like blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
And you can tell because I feel like it's like a beautiful metaphor. Like, I grow, like, every year too. Like, every time it rolls around, you just watch how far, like, everyone's going and you're going, and it's amazing to see it progress. I nearly fainted last year. I couldn't believe I had tears in my eyes, just the fact that I got to see myself and my friends' work on the extreme screen. I can die happy now. If I die, it's like, that's cool.
I never in 1,000 years thought we would get that done, you know.
It blew me away. I feel like that kind of that inspiration really is going to fuel like everyone else in that audience to push themselves and to make them go, you know what, I can do this too.
Yeah, it reminds them that it's accessible.
Yeah.
You can totally do it. That's what it does for people. It reminds them, hey, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
It's funny you say though, like the way that the content is improving and the performances are improving and the stories are improving. You're seeing a lot more narrative arc out there, a start, middle and end. Yeah. We used to get I always say to people, do a 7-minute film for, being a curator in a festival, 7 minutes is a great duration for a film.
I'm going to need that advice, so thank you.
Yeah. 7 minutes for a film, because if you think about it, if you did a 15-minute film, it has to be a knockout to be selected.
Yeah.
It has to be a knockout, because in 15 minutes, you could show 2 7-minute films.
That's correct.
Right? So you're more likely to pick a 7-minute film just from the duration. Right?
Yeah.
So, but with that said, we get a lot of 15-minute films that end up on there.
Yeah.
And that says something, because you're reluctant to pick, to select a 15-minute film. Even though it might be scoring well, like, if it's a total knockout, clearly it goes in, right? But there's some that end up in the borderlands, right? Yeah. So you go, well, I cut the mediocre 15-minute film to put 2 really good 7-minute films in, right? So the 7-minute films will always win. But with that said, I find Made in the West is becoming the exception to that unspoken rule, because I think a good majority of the films last year were 15 minutes.
You know what they were? Because I'm thinking... that did stick out to me a lot. Generally, you kind of expect, there are a few like really shorts in there, which is kind of cool because it breaks it up. The pace is kind of like surprising, but there were a lot of 15-minute ones. They were all so good.
Yeah, the playlist was 14 films.
Yep.
Normally, the playlist is 17 to 18 films.
Okay, so a couple of them beat out like a couple.
Yeah, totally. And then they become final selected. Yeah. That's why we started doing the semi-final category, because you got to understand, the semi-finalist from last year would have been finalists the previous year.
Yeah,
that's how fast it's growing.
Oh my god!
And there's another interesting fact about it as well. We're up to what I call the playhead.
Yeah. Because
if you start up a festival, you're 3 years in, people start hearing about it, and they go, "I made a movie 2 years ago." And they'll put it in. Well, we've got everyone's movies. There's no more movies. We've got them all. They're all done. So all the movies are made are fresh. They're freshly made. And now half of them are made for Made in the West.
That's right.
Yeah. They are totally made for it.
I said when we wrapped filming on She's Not Your Type last year, about almost this time last year, that now I wanted to move more into directing. I still will always want to do acting. Like, I love it to death. But I want to have, like, the reins over my own project now. And Made in the West has definitely been a massive motivator, because I just keep thinking to myself, end of next year, I'm going to be back in that cinema, with my cast and my crew, and we're going to be sitting down and watching the film that we made.
Yeah, totally. It's a big buzz. It's a really big buzz. Nice. Speaking, we won't go straight into She's Not Your Type straight away, but I think you have been nominated at Made in the West in every film that you've ever put in.
Yes.
You've gotten an actress nom.
I have.
Yeah. I just realised that today when I was doing the research for the show. I'm like, oh wow, she's actually been nominated for each film that you've submitted. But you did one, The Thing About You.
Yes, that was like a romantic comedy. Daryl wrote and directed that one. Jessie Hyland was my co-star, and we just play like this couple who's kind of quirky, and we invite some friends over for dinner, but it doesn't kind of mesh so well. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Again, I hadn't done a rom-com style film before, which was really, really good. They're not that common, like to kind of get to do, I feel.
Yeah, because normally it's going to be a slasher film, a horror film, a comedy, a drama. Yeah.
But this is a very... Daryl loves his, like, Hollywood rom-coms, as do I. I'm a rom-com fiend. So we made it very colourful, like, music, you know, city shot kind of thing.
Yeah, it was very pretty.
Yeah, it was very pretty.
It was a pretty film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we move along to She's Not Your Type. Now, that movie... Where do I begin? Like, oh my gosh. Well, I guess. Well, tell us a little bit about the film and what was your role in that film.
The basic premise is this guy is introducing his new girlfriend to his friends on a date, on a dinner date. They have no idea who she is, but the second she walks in, holy crap. Shit hits the fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I cannot tell you, I read that script like 3 times in a row when I sat down and Matt sent it to me, because for ages I'd been saying to Matt, like, I really want to make something, I want to do something different. And he actually goes, okay, I have this idea, and he wrote the character of Alex for me, which is very, very cool. Thank you, Maddie. And yeah, I was laughing so hard. Like, my parents were like, are you okay? And then I called...
Oh, because you're in there just laughing at silence because you're reading.
Like, all you'd hear is... like, just what's going on? And then I got my
She's
sister...
finally gone mad.
Yes. The second Alana got home, my sister, I was like, you need to come in here and read this right now. And I gave her the script and I just sat there and I watched her and I'm just waiting for her to laugh. And she was like, dude, this is crazy. I could not wait to play her. That whole project, we filmed it magically because I had to go to Europe and we had one particular...
Yeah, it was Luke Walker who was the cinematographer.
Yes.
Yeah, a big shout out to Luke.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. He really makes it look like a Hollywood movie, and watching him work is nuts. Like, he just sets the bar that high. I feel like anything I ever make, I'd have to have Luke on because he's just that amazing. And the way his brain ticks is great to watch too. Oh my god, like, where do I even begin? Everyone was flawless. Like, we all rocked up to work. Everyone was on top of their game. No one, like, we rarely even had line mess ups. Like, it was just that on the ball. We were constantly laughing as well and really had to hold it in a lot of the time, not to mess up the shots because a lot of crazy stuff happens. Yeah. I did things in that movie that if I did in real life, I would definitely be in jail for.
Yeah, totally. I quote that movie.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my god.
I totally quote it. You know when a movie is good when you start quoting it.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, there's certain quotes in there. It's one of your lines actually that I've quoted a few times. It's really crass. It was like being fisted by Mike Tyson. It was the line. Because it's just so like, that film is just so shocking. It's an onslaught after onslaught after onslaught.
Non-stop.
Before you finish laughing at the last gag, you're into the next one, and it's just... Like, I remember when we watched it here. Yes. When we were setting it up for Main the West, and we all looked at each other like, "Oh my god,
what just happened?"
And what just happened? And oh my gosh. And I said right there, I said, that's going to get the Audience Choice Award. I betcha.
We were stoked when that happened. That was like one of the best moments I've ever had. And same for Matt too, like 100%. Oh gosh. With that line, that whole segment. Yeah,
because there's outtakes of that.
There's outtakes. So some of them I wrote, some of them even Zoe came up, who's one of my other co-stars in the film. And then Matt had a bunch, and we just would like run through them. And like, you just kind of have to not think about what you're saying, otherwise you're just going to laugh at everything.
Yeah, I don't know how you kept a straight face doing all those lines.
And then especially when I do that line, it's very like...
Yeah.
Physical too.
It definitely stays with you, like, what? It's just so shocking.
Even Matt was saying, he's like, the one thing I'm worried about with this film is that people are going to be laughing and then they're going to miss the next joke because it is that fast paced. I'm obsessed with like everything, Will Ferrell, Seth Rogen, all that kind of stuff. Like, my sense of humor is very, very varied, and this was just like the jackpot of films to do.
Yeah, well, it is a jackpot of a film. Like, it's doing the rounds. Like, it's overseas at the moment.
Yes.
You've gotten a few more noms at different festivals. Like, yeah,
Yes.
what's a festival that you've gotten a nom at?
The Monster Fest in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I believe Matt is up for Best Director, I think. And that festival looks insane. It's like a horror slasher film festival. Rob Zombie is opening it with his new film.
Oh, wow.
Is it Three for the Kill, I think.
Yeah, the sequel to Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
See, that's how much I love Will Ferrell. But that's really cool. Hopefully, Sydney Indie Film Festival, we will get screened at. We're just waiting to like hear stuff about that.
Yeah, you're just waiting to be selected.
Waiting to be selected.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just put like my long black hair extensions back in and get my leather jacket and my satanic tattoo back on me, and I'll like burst into their offices, Alex style.
With a cigarette and start putting it down on people.
I'll put it out on people and I'll throw grenades until they say yes.
Bring your own spaghetti.
Yeah, bring your own spaghetti and your own fish.
Yeah.
People have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but you need to go see it. I'll definitely keep people posted about screenings in Sydney. But we have been making the rounds like all around America. Matt got 2 director awards at the Atlanta Comedy Film Festival. We played at a few in, oh my God, like there are honestly so many places. We have a run out of space in the poster to put the little...
Yeah, to put the laurels.
Yeah, to put the laurels. We're all so proud of it.
Yeah, and it deserves its accolades. It really does. I was standing next to Matt watching him watch the audience during that film, and I was just watching him just lit up. That man was lit up.
I cannot...
Because the whole place was electric watching that movie. It went off. I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Every time I'm about to watch myself, I want to vomit. I'm sitting there in the chair like, this is a mistake. I'm like,
what have I done? What have I done?
Like, I'm going to let everyone down. This is going to be horrible. Like, not the film, me, like specifically me. And I get super anxious about it. And then the second it came on, I brought my best friend Lisa as my date. And even just having her there, because she's hard to make laugh. Like, if you've made her laugh, like, I've succeeded. Hearing her laugh and the crowd reaction was an just overwhelming, phenomenal feeling of just triumph. I immediately relaxed and I allowed myself to laugh as well, and I couldn't believe how much people were enjoying it. It was...
Yeah. Well, look, guys, if you get a chance to check out She Is Not Your Type, I recommend it. It is an onslaught of awesome comedy. Yeah. But, okay, so... but you've got some projects coming up. Didn't you just finish shooting a film?
Yes. So this is another Matt Vella project, Vella Matt Films. So we've got Neil Kolhatkar and Rachel Baker in the 2 leads. It is another comedy, another kind of gross comedy, which I am all for, and it's called Tent. It should be completed, I think, very soon. So hopefully by the end of 2019, there'll be screenings or ways to get to see the film. That was good. I was second AD, and it was hilarious. This one's gross. Like, She's Not Your Type has moments, definitely has moments, but this one...
Wow. Yeah. Okay. But that's all you can say about it, I imagine.
That's all I can say.
That's all you can say for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it when we get to that point, because there's always projects that people working on like, I can't really talk. I can only talk this much about it, but that's understandable. But so you are interested in writing and directing?
Absolutely. I have always been obsessed with writing since I was a little kid. I've even written a novella. I write poetry, sometimes music, and I initially, even in the first place, wanted to get into acting so that one day I could become a director, because from what I had learned growing up, being an absolute film freak, all my favorite people that I looked up to had gotten to that path often through acting. And like Drew Barrymore, I absolutely love her. She has her own company, like she's got a massive array of films. Love that. Like I would want to be like that. And Angelina Jolie, same kind of thing. And then I just kind of thought to myself, like, maybe I should just do it. Like, just still act and still have fun, but let's just do it now. Like, let's just write and direct. Why not?
I think that's the key, though, is to just do it, right?
Just do it.
Just and sometimes I think you got to move beyond doing and just being as well.
Absolutely.
You just got to be it, you know.
Definitely.
And I suppose you got to sort of fuel your soul. Like when I write and then edit, I have this strange. I've said this a few times. Like when I edit these days, I actually feel it in my hands while I'm cutting. Doesn't matter what I'm cutting. I just feel it leaving me and going into the computer. And when I write, when I'm writing a really good script, I just feel it in my hands.
Yeah.
And it like, you know that saying, like it writes itself. When you get into the zone, like don't get me wrong, there's nothing worse than looking at a blinking cursor, right? Been there plenty of times. And I'm a pacer, like I do it in here, like I'll walk back and forth, back and forth, sit back down on the chair and like, all right, now go again. Yes. And then, you know, take that and then refine it back down and then go, I hate this, rip it up and throw it away. And start all over again. But
feel it on a personal level.
Yeah.
I'm a pacer and like a fidgeter as well.
I get physically involved in writing. It's not just me sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
You know, I'm physically involved with it. And and it's an emotional roller coaster because there's moments like, I'm awesome! I fucking hate myself. This sucks.
Self-doubt. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Always tapping on the shoulder, like, you know, is it good? Is it that good? Oh, I don't know, like.
Yeah, but the key is to give it to people to read and put it out there.
That's it.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite things I ever learned from acting is taking on criticism. At NIDA, it's very brutal, but it's good because that's what you need. You need that backbone. And I'm not scared anymore to get feedback. I don't care, like just lay it on me. Lucky as well, I have a lot of friends who are really amazing writers and they'll be honest with me and help me out a lot. I've written 3 scripts and I think I have picked the one that I want to make definitely hopefully by the end of this year. My issue is I write a lot. So I've got to condense it.
Yeah.
I just always feel like I have to say this or I have to add that in.
Well, a little bit of advice I find is helpful in this regard is when you've overwritten it, is to show and not tell. Because it sounds like when you've written it too much, you're probably telling too much. You've got to show more. And don't be afraid for for interpretation to occur. Because you go, well, they need to get it, so I need to write it this way. They don't need to get it. It just needs to be for you. That's right. It's a bit, I don't know, I think I'm a bit selfish when I write. I write it for me. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I do. Like, when you hand it over, and I find as well, like, write for people I know.
Yes.
Like, I don't write about their personality, I write them as an actor.
Yeah.
So I write for them. Because I've worked with this person before, and, like, even though they may not do the role, because like I even say I'm really brutal with some of my guys, like because I'll say to them, I'm writing this story for you. Do you like it? And he goes, oh yeah, I'll totally do that. Well, no, you have to audition.
Whoa. Calm down, buddy.
Yeah, I just wrote it for you. It doesn't mean you're doing it.
Sheesh, what do you think this is? A handout?
Well, the likelihood is they're going to get the part, right? But with that said, I do write for people. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's, you know what, I feel like I have to do more of that. Because I'm used to creative writing, paragraphing everything. So script writing, I have to learn to chill. Just calm down. Reel it back in and leave some stuff to the imagination, like you said. I think I've got 2 of them are comedies, and the one that I want to make, this really long one, it was originally starting off as a comedy, but now it has ended as a thriller.
Yeah, okay.
And it is based on a real life event.
Does that say something about your personality?
Yeah,
it started out as a comedy and ended up as a thriller.
Yeah, that's me. Definitely. But
so what's
interesting.
So what's this story about, if you don't mind me asking?
I won't give too much away, but it's about a date that's gone horribly wrong. In the beginning, it's funny. Like,
Okay,
it's
so you
kind
started out as a rom-com.
yeah,
Yeah.
essentially. It was pure comedy, and if I wanted to, I could really condense it to just be that. But I feel like the way that this situation unfolded, there's no way I couldn't put this in there now because it was so left of field. I did not expect it at all. So it's kind of like two people go on a date. The guy knows it's a date, but the girl doesn't. And this is a thing. Like, this happens. Millennial, Gen X, whoever, like, whatever it is. Like, it's a thing. Like, this just miscommunication. And it can be really, really funny. I won't give away the ending. But, yeah, it just... And obviously, like, my imagination runs kind of wild. So
yeah, that's why I wanted to drill into this a little bit, because you started it as a rom-com and then it's ended up a thriller. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating, actually.
Because I like it when things like that happen, like, because you start off doing it this way and it ends up that way.
Yeah, did not see it coming at all. But I guess it happened for a reason, so this is where it's supposed to go. And then the other ones I've written, they are also kind of based on life experiences in a romantic sense, but looked at in a comedic standpoint. Because I feel comedy, I don't know, I love comedy. It gets me through everything.
I keep doing that. Stop it, Russ.
You do, stop. But I especially as a female writer and to direct my own stuff, I feel like there's not a lot of girls who have, made short films with that kind of tone. So I'd love to kind of break into that.
Yeah, well, I think that's another thing as well, is filling a void, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that's what a writer is. You're writing to fill a space.
Yeah.
And you've got to choose that space. And some of those spaces are already occupied. So maybe you go around and look for another one. Maybe you go around and look for something that's more suited to you. That's why I go, you started out as a rom-com, but you ended up writing a thriller. Because you started out saying, I prefer the grittiness.
Yes.
I prefer the not so much the gore, but something that is untidy, something that's that's got blood, and something that's got gravel in it.
Sometimes I even think in the future I want to write a script that is just gonna allow me to do crazy shit. Like I feel like I'm all about like laughing and comedy, making my friends laugh, always been me. But then I also have an equally dark side, and I would love to just write something where I could just kick someone's ass.
Yeah.
Or just, I don't know, get all bloodied up and have some like epic, like choreographed accident. I don't know, just something cool.
Yeah.
Maybe get possessed by a demon. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, in my journey as a writer and director, like I wanted to do gangster films, I wanted to do Western Sydney style gangster films. If you haven't seen one of mine, check it out. It's called Pushing the Envelope, right?
I have seen Pushing the Envelope.
Oh, you have seen this?
I have.
Yeah. Oh, you liked it?
Yeah, I loved it. I'm actually a very big like mafia gangster fan, even though those movies depress the shit out of me. Like Scarface, I think I was walking around my house for like 5 days just what is life? This is really sad. Casino, same thing.
I love Casino. It's like a religion. You have to watch it once a year, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's so true.
Maybe twice.
Maybe twice. If I have the emotional capacity. But yeah, no, they're so cool. So you originally wanted to just do
gangster films, but Western Sydney gangster. So a little bit of Aussie ochre, Western Sydney dialect, Western Sydneyisms, if you want to call them that. So if you watch, Pushing the Envelope, you'd see that in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I like sci-fi. Like I want, you have this thing that you want to do, but there's something that you are. And I've written, I think about 4 sci-fi scripts this year.
Whoa, are they all feature length?
No, they're all shorts.
Okay, shorts.
They're all shorts. My favourite that I want to shoot next year is called Microcosm.
Microcosm.
Yeah, it's about these guys that are on a spaceship that are in deep sleep, and they have to, because if they go into a deep sleep for hibernation and they don't dream, when they get to their destination, they have Alzheimer's. So to not have Alzheimer's, they have to live this simulated life while asleep on the ship.
Oh my god!
And I figured out how to do this in 7 minutes. Yeah. So I'm shooting that next year. Luke, I need you. Come back down to New South Wales, man. I need you to shoot this film for me. But yeah, I don't.
intense.
Yeah. I don't want to give too much away, obviously, but that's the basic premise, and it's called microcosm because then you start to question: Are they on a ship?
Yeah.
What is
Oh.
reality? What is it? Are they going to a destination? Is there a destination, or is the whole thing just a dream? Is it the dream? Yeah, it's a bit Inception. It's obviously I've referenced the the Matrix, Inception,
Yes.
all of these sort of things that are
Yeah.
that are in me because of the films that I love. But yeah, I tend to write gangster or sci-fi. The other things that I write though, speaking of like changing your direction while you write, is it happens with me a lot with lyrics. Yeah, so when I write lyrics, you come up with a story, like, because the band will write a song, and then you'll populate that song with lyrics, right? And then you might have an idea of what that story is going to be, and it's never the same. Every time, by the time I finish writing it and practicing it, and then swapping and changing it, the story's totally different from when I started. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one example is when I was writing one about it was like this hitman, point man, and it ended up being about pokey machines. So
What a detour.
yeah, because it's a song called King for a Day, right? So he's king for a day, and he's supposed to have all these guns and like walk around shooting people, but that's not what happened. He ended up sitting in a chair in his throne, which is the the pokey chairs that are like they're really comfortable, a pokey chair, and he's just hitting the button all day. Instead of pulling a trigger, he's hitting the button.
Amazing. What a metaphor for life, though. You think you're going to go one way, and then boom.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Which is the best.
And it's one of our best songs. Works really well. Big shout out to Mendoza. Come and check us out in November. Yeah, because I'm crazy, right? While running a festival, I decided to do an EP launch 2 weeks before the festival.
Yeah, look, I could say some things, but I feel like most people that have this tenacity and this love for filmmaking are crazy. It's just a thing. It's an obsession. It's a passion. You just want to do everything and just, you love all of it.
Yeah, I do.
I can't blame you because I'd probably do the same thing if I had a band.
Yeah. No, but there's all these different things that people do, like you want to be a writer and director and an actor, and you go, oh, I might do photography as well. Yeah, just stack that on there. Why not?
Why not?
I
constantly load myself up with way too much work, but I love it. I love being busy and I love being occupied. I like having too much on my plate because the second I have a break, I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah,
I go a bit insane when there's a breath of fresh air. I'm like, I've forgotten something. Totally forgotten something. It's a bit unnerving doing nothing, but sometimes you got to do nothing. Like when I'm doing,
you have to force yourself to do
I have to force myself to do nothing, and when I do nothing, it's usually watching a film. So I'm still kind of working because I'm studying or refreshing.
I made lists. I made like classics I have to watch that are in the top 250.
Oh, you have lists as well. I have lists.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I have ones that I have ones I've bought that I just haven't watched in the last 5 years. And I should because I bought them. I have like 10 different things of movies I have to watch, and then TV shows. Don't even get me started on that.
Yeah, are you a binge watcher?
Yeah.
Everyone's a binge watcher, really.
They are. The people that like weekly episodes, I'm sorry, but
what's wrong with you?
You need to get psychologically tested.
Yeah. Someone tell these people what decade it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I love the Pish guy. Have you seen the Pish guy?
No, I don't think I have.
Check it out.
Okay.
Guy wears like a Cosby jumper going up to people in the street just going, Psh.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and he
That's
films
me.
their reactions, yeah. It's like, he gets them going nuts, man. Because he's not actually saying anything to him, he's just, Psh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, Misty and I have been around the house doing that the entire time since we've seen that.
That's phenomenal.
Hey, Misty, you want a coffee?
I'm going to start doing that.
Just pishing people.
Yeah, and then when I'm bored, like just on the train, just go up to randoms.
But you chuck your arms up as well and look disapproving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
Come on.
You gotta have that... You're a fucking loser look in your face like... Oh gosh.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Where were we? We were going somewhere.
We were going somewhere.
Where were we going?
We were talking about writing and directing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's right. So you oh no, I was on a rant. I was on a rant.
Yeah.
Well, to come to the end of that rant.
Yes.
So writing and directing, I guess. Just finding the time, because we stack all of these things together and you just want to find the time. So for me, I've now got to start scheduling my year. That's what it's come down to. It's come down to scheduling the entire year.
I bought a life planner.
A life planner?
Yeah, it's a diary, but it's just like a way more sectioned off diary to help you, like big, like morning, afternoon, evening, and then you have all different time slots for things, and yeah, I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed it.
Well, we have a big calendar on the wall, and it's 3 months at a time. And it's because they don't sell calendars big enough, right? So we draw up our own calendars, right? And it's this big, there's a wall upstairs that's got all of our stuff on it. But I need a bigger wall. That's what's happening.
A wall to accommodate your calendar.
Yeah. Like, I'm not talking like a space on a wall. I'm talking a wall. That's what it's come to. That's what it's come to. Like, and I don't know. I can't do the podcast in summer, because who wants to do a podcast in summer, right?
It's cool.
Yeah, no. Whatever, Ross. No, so I'm going to do the podcast in winter and then shoot in summer, because then I've got to have time to make films.
It's true. I've got to have time.
The band you can sort of fit in between, and then I've got my other hobbies. We're talking about it off air before, like, because I'm into astrophotography, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The reason I bring it up because you're a photographer.
That's right. Correct.
And I thought you'd dig it, So I want to I want to start doing these how-tos of astrophotography, because it just fires my geek cylinders right off, like
geek cylinders, the best.
It does, like deep space objects, and photo stacking for Jupiter. Watch this space, people.
Watch this space, pun intended.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Hashtag space is not fake, okay? It's not fake. It's totally real.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, but you just look through your telescope, you don't know.
Well, if you make these how-to videos, you're going to prove that it is real.
Yeah. And the other one I want to do is GoPro into space, right?
GoPro
into space. That's the one that I've been working on for years, and it always ends up on the back burner.
So, how are you just going to send one?
On a helium balloon. So get a box, put a camera out on each side of the box, send the like weather balloons.
Yeah.
Because this is what they do to measure weather and stuff, right?
Okay.
So they put what measures air pressure? Barometers, right? So they put barometers, thermometers, all kinds of ometers, right? They put on this thing. They ometer this thing up, and then they send it up on a helium balloon, and the helium balloon, because the air pressure changes, it gets weaker and weaker. The balloon expands and expands and expands, and eventually, when it gets to the very edge of the atmosphere, it explodes. Right?
Explosions in space.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
And then there's this little tiny parachute that's on the cables, and when it starts to fall, it comes back to Earth. And because it ends up in a,
you're not going to necessarily lose the GoPro.
No, get the GoPro back.
That's pretty sweet.
And you program it to record at different times at different altitudes, and you point one up at the exploding balloon, because who doesn't want to get that shot?
Crazy people do.
And then I want to take the GoPro and put it in a frame and put it on the wall. Because again, see that GoPro?
This
been to space, mate.
It's been to space.
Some people put on a bike helmet. I sent this bad boy to space. That's what I want to say. Yeah.
I would just frame it and then put it wear it as a necklace everywhere for the first month.
Oh, bling.
Hey guys.
GoPro bling.
Oh, what's this? It's been to space. Right.
Gold plate it.
Yeah.
Thick gold chain.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. Get a big hat.
That's so cool. You have to do it. You have to. The second that it starts getting warm and you're not podcasting, just do it.
Yeah. When I'm not podcasting. I was thinking about doing 2 a week. Glad I didn't do that.
Might have been a bit hectic.
Yeah, well, it's an hour turnaround, so you do an hour of an episode, then you're going to cut it for an hour. Ultimate dream is to get a sponsor. If we get a sponsor out there, I can do live action cut, and then I can turn this bad boy around in an hour. Don't know if I've got the balls yet to go live to air. I don't know.
Okay.
That takes a certain amount of balls, right?
It does, and then it also takes trust. Trust in your guest.
Yeah.
I could be trusted.
But there's some other people out there.
Some other people, like my Villa. Yeah, I don't know.
He was a great guest.
Loose cannons.
Yeah. Loose cannon, but good guest. Could have gone anywhere, though. Could have gone anywhere.
Literally anywhere. Absolutely anywhere. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, well, that's the other back burner. There's so many things on the back burner. So films are on the back burner. My feature that I've written, that's on the back burner because that just takes money, right? You just need money to do a feature.
That's it. This is why sponsors would be great.
Yeah, sponsors and recognition.
And recognition.
Yeah.
If I had money, the things that I would do. I mean, I'm the same. Like I'll usually have 2 or 3 shoots a week that I do. I also do a lot of I love doing film stills, so if you do want someone to photograph your film, you can do that. There I go.
Yeah, it's contagious. So you go on a set and do photography for behind the scenes sort of stuff as well?
I do. I've just done 2 for Matt, and the second one will be up on my website soon. I love it. I absolutely love doing it. I did it for Tent as well. So I shot the rehearsals, all the behind the scenes stuff for that. There's something, I don't know, there's just something about capturing those moments on a set.
Yeah, I'm a big fan
exciting.
I'm a big fan of behind the scenes. Every time I do a film, I always have a second unit crew doing the behind the scenes.
It is worth it.
Yeah. I don't know if my movies suck, but my behind the scenes usually rate higher than the movie itself.
I'm going to beg to differ. I'm going to say they're both excellent.
Yeah. No. Well, they do though. Like you put something online and people are like, oh yeah, and then you look at the analytics, they watched for 1 minute, and then you look at the analytics that are behind the scenes, they watch the whole thing. Everyone loves it's voyeurism. Everyone loves to see what's going on.
It's so true.
Yeah, they like to see behind the curtain.
It's a thing.
But it's important. It's important, and I think taking stills and doing that behind the scenes sort of work just shows that accessibility.
It does.
Shows
all the hard work that's put into it that people often forget does go into it. But I love it. I love capturing that, and same as you. I mean, I've got so many things on the back burner, or I don't know, running the little like hamster mill. Hopefully, like it'll be done soon, and then it can.
Well, I've got the spinning plates. That's my...
Spinning plates.
You're spinning a plate, and then one starts to wobble, about to fall, and you've got to go and grab that, start spinning that one. Oh, shit, the other one's wobbling. You've got to go get that one. Yeah, I live in a world of spinning plates,
Spinning plates.
Main the West, Mendoza, podcast. Oh, film. I've got to go work somewhere in between here as well.
That's the thing, like...
Been up all night, I've got to get on a train. Great. Yeah.
Honestly, working is like it's the... behind everything else thing. Everything else in my head is the important stuff. Oh my god, so many things to do, so little time. But they will happen eventually. They always do, and we're very lucky. We've got a lot of good people around us to help make them happen.
Totally, a lot of talent around, man.
Yeah.
A lot of talent around. I was actually listeing to Oprah Winfrey today for some inspiration, believe it or not. Yeah,
she's great.
Yeah, she is, man.
She's like
totally. Success is, discovered one step at a time.
That's right.
There's no, you're not just going to have that moment that you made it or break it. It's going to be a lead up to that, and then it's going to go on from that. It's just whether you make the choice to continue.
It's true. I remember I watched a video where she said every negative thing or door that closes in your life closed to push you in another direction.
Yeah.
And it's true.
I really resonate with that. So many things like that have happened in my life that is, you at the time you're just furious and angry and you're like, oh man, this thing fell through and I was depending on that and that's going to have a roll-on effect of this, and then because you're forced into a corner, sometimes it makes you find something else or do something else that brings the next thing in. I guess it's something that comes up on the show a lot is like TVS falling over, right?
That breaks my heart.
It does. It
actually breaks my heart.
I actually mourn that company because it was so important. It was so important.
I still have our, crew lanyard.
Yeah, I've still got the lanyards as well.
2014. It is still there in my car. It used to hang on my mirror. I just keep it in a safe spot in my car always. How lucky I was that I was there for the tail end of that, because I tell people constantly that is what made university worthwhile for me.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite things I ever was involved in.
Yeah, well, I always pushed, because I always pushed students to get their content on air. Like, for instance, they would say, I don't know, you'd end up having like a water break or a smoko break, and you'd say to them, like, I've got no idea what I've got to do for my project. And I said, well, what do you like? And like, for instance, one lady said to me, she goes, well, I'm involved with Meals on Wheels. I said, well, why don't you do a 1-minute video about your day on Meals on Wheels? She's like, oh, that sounds boring. I said, no, think about it. If you did that, and you did it in a way that was technically proficient, that was a bit heartwarming, I could put that on air as a community service announcement for Meals on Wheels. Right. The organisation's going to love you. You're going to make something, and then you get to get a mark on it.
It's true.
You know, she's now out there on TV as a reporter, right?
See, the
you know what I mean?
Influence that TVS had on the community, on everyone that walked through that building.
Yeah, most of the reporters that we ran through the news are out there in network TV. Most of them. I can't think of one that isn't. You know, the host of the Y Generation. She went from Channel 7. I think she's on Sky News now. You know, just kicking goals.
Honestly.
But it all started from that accessibility, and that's what it comes down to, is that accessibility. But if it wasn't for TVS falling over, I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast.
That's true. That's true.
Main the West would have happened, because Main the West was happening anyway.
Yeah.
That was happening anyway, whether I liked it or not. Oh, don't get me wrong, sometimes, most of the time you like it, but sometimes you just get really tired and you're like, oh, I've got to do this thing. Because it does take effort. It takes a lot of effort. And you go, oh... Yeah. I've got to do this thing. I've got a deadline. I've got to do this thing. But I don't know. I guess, to digress, I look back at some of the stuff I was doing at the start of Made in the West, and I look at the stuff I'm doing now. Yeah. And what I'm doing now is way more professional than what I was doing before.
See, like the whole Oprah Winfrey thing, the door closes to push you in another direction.
That's right. But if I didn't work with a promo editor at TVS, I wouldn't know how to cut promos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've actually... put a lot of promo to air before and know how to cut a promo. And so it's promos that do it. The thing that sells Made in the West is the highlights reel. That is the key. Like, don't get me wrong, leather seats, big screen, networking opportunities, these things are all important. Yeah. But the hook is that video. That's
the hook.
That is totally the hook.
I think I'm in it. I'm smoking a cigarette in it. Yes. Yeah. I can get like 11 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've been in a few promos for Made in the West. Yeah.
That one's my proudest, because I don't smoke, and filming that was super embarrassingly hard because I didn't know what to do. So we had to film it a bunch of times, and I'd had to walk and inhale this real cigarette and then blow it out, and then every time I did, it would just go back into my eyes, and then they'd be like,
oh, you got see, that's a smoking noob right there. As a periodic smoker, when you start smoking as a child, because back in my day, that's when you started smoking.
You're like 12.
Yeah. When you start smoking as a child, you get smoke eye, because you'd have a drag, right? And then a smoke would hit you in the eye. You'd be like, ah!
That was me.
Right? Total noob. That's a noob. You're a noob smoker.
Mistake.
But I find it interesting, though, when you watch people in Hollywood smoking now, because smoking is no longer the status thing that it used to be. Yeah. Before, you used to be able to, light in a way that you could be really cool, shake the hair about and have a smoke, right?
Marilyn Monroe, James Dean.
Yeah, and it's the icebreaker. Hey, have you got a light? Can you? And in lighting a lady cigarette, there's a bit of sexual tension in that.
Yes.
And there's all of these things that went along with it. But now you look at people in Hollywood that act smoking that clearly don't smoke. They smoke it like joints.
if it's not being done correctly.
Totally. As a
Okay,
smoker,
I
you
would have
go,
no
you wouldn't
clue.
smoke it like that. No one does that.
No one does that.
No one does
what
that.
a loser.
Well, I think, what's his name? Jonah Hill.
Yes.
In...
This is the end.
No, not This Is the End. It's
Oh,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Not Moneyball.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wall Street,
Wolf of Wall
yes.
Street, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're in a bar and he's smoking, and they're talking. They're drinking beer, right? And then you can see him smoking it
Like a joint.
like a joint. You're like, you're smoking that like a joint, man. That's
Okay.
not how you smoke a cigarette.
That is true. Like, I would know that because from what I see, that's what they do with a joint. It's like a yeah.
And
then
the way you puff it, you go.
Yeah.
You don't do that with a cigarette.
No.
No way. Because if you did that with a cigarette, you'd be like, you die. There's no way you do that. But I hear they put lettuce, dried up lettuce for fake cigarettes in movies. Yeah.
I did not know that. I thought there was some special
No.
fake
No.
thing.
Yeah, no. Hashtag cigarettes are fake. No, they do it with lettuce, I believe. Yeah, dried up lettuce is the.
What do you reckon that would taste like?
I reckon it'd be really horrible.
Really
Yeah,
disgusting.
I reckon that'd be really disgusting. But
Are they? Is that what theatre cigarettes would be then?
yeah, I think so. You'd have to do it right because then you'd have reform smokers that go, well, I can't do that because I'll end up smoking again.
That's true. I did not think about that.
Yeah, I think it was Danny DeVito in War of the Roses.
Yeah.
He had a cigarette in his desk in glass that said break in case of emergency.
No way.
Yeah, in the film at some point there was an emergency, he had to break it open. And Danny DeVito was an ex-smoker.
No. So did he like end up smoking again?
No, they made a
Or he
fake
just-
cigarette. It wasn't
Okay,
real.
okay.
But I'm pretty sure it was lettuce. If I had Nate here, Nate, if you were here, you could verify that on the internet, but you're not here.
Where are you, Nate? This is really sad.
Get well soon, buddy. Get well soon.
Get well soon. Hashtag get well soon, Nate. One like, one prayer. But-
Yeah, but they do other things that are fake in films, man, like ice cream, right? You can't use ice cream in a film
which is really sad.
because it would
Then
melt,
it's
right?
okay.
It would
Yeah.
melt. So they use mashed potato for ice cream.
Would not mind that though. Would not mind.
Oh, I don't know.
If it's a good
cold
mash.
mashed potato. Oh,
Look, if they can let my mum make it, I'll be so happy. I'll eat all of it. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love stuff like this. Like, movies are just magic.
they are. They are.
What would be maybe your like childhood film?
Oh,
If you had to
holy
pick
shit!
one.
Holy shit! You've just asked a really big question.
Opened up this black hole.
Okay. What age bracket? I can
Alright.
tell you, in age brackets, I could probably do it. If you ask me overall childhood film, wow, that's
alright.
difficult.
Between the ages of...
Like I can tell you from 4 to 6.
That's very specific. I was
Yeah.
going to say like 8 to 12.
I can do 8 to 12.
All right, let's do 4 and 6, and then
Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
classic.
No, 8 to 12.
Yep.
Back to the Future.
Oh, another classic.
Oh, look, I am such a Marty McFly fan. I've done heavy metal gigs dressed as a heavy metal Marty
No
McFly.
way. This
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He was one of my very first
I used to ride
crushes.
a skateboard to TVS.
And you were wishing the whole time you were imagining it's a hoverboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy that it's a skateboard.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm in the right time.
True. Because that's how you know you're in the right time. You don't have to go back to the future.
Like, if it was in the future, I'd want it to be a hoverboard. But I was in the present at the time.
All right, this is fine. Confirmed. It's all good. Oh man, I think definitely Back to the Future is one for me. The Goonies.
Holy
Goonies
shit.
is like pinnacle.
That's mint.
My childhood movie.
Yeah.
I still watch it multiple times a year.
You know when you watch a movie and you like picture yourself as someone in the movie? Who are you in the Goonies?
Andy.
Andy.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he stopped kind of aging even in that movie. He still looks really good. But I was so jealous of her. Oh, no. This is hard.
That's difficult, isn't it?
It's really hard because even if you're Mikey, then you're. Oh, but then.
Because it changes over years sometimes. Because there's some movies you watch, like I saw an excellent meme the other day.
Yeah.
You know, it was about Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Yeah.
right? When you start watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you can relate to being Ferris Bueller. And as you get older, you start relating to Cameron.
no.
And when you get really old, you start relating to Rooney.
Let's hope.
I don't think I'm up to Rooney yet. I think I'm still at Cameron.
You're still at Cameron. Look, there's still potential maybe for Ferris. Maybe you're like in between.
Yeah, sometimes I go back to Ferris, but I'm starting to lean towards Cameron, you know.
Oh, boy.
Sleeping a bit heavier on Sunday.
Oh, God.
People ringing me. Oh, I just don't want to. Nah, I can't do it today, man.
This is getting way too deep.
I can't do it today, man. It's not happening. Man, you're just depressed. Come out.
You know, yeah, I think sometimes it's a flip a coin. Like, most of the time I would still feel like Ferris, but there's definitely days where I'm like Cameron, and I can't believe I just said that.
But it's true. You always put yourself in a film. What about between 13 and 15?
Ooh, 13 and 15. All right, I've got 2 films I've watched. Okay, I'm gonna go for 3 here.
Okay.
I've watched these films more times than I can count. One of them, my all-time favorite movie ever. The very first Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Comedy, action, romance, drama,
Johnny
fantasy. Johnny Depp. Need I say more?
Yeah.
Everything about that movie is just me, and I love it, and it is magic, and it is why I wanted to make
It's very quotable.
movies
It's a
in the first
quotable
place.
movie. Like, I do quote that movie a little bit, you know.
It's great.
Well, you've got to modify a quote sometimes because the quote doesn't fully work out. You know, because I wouldn't say, why is the rum gone? I go, why is the beer gone?
Why is the beer gone? Why is the beer always gone?
Why is the beer always gone?
Yes, I love it because at the time when it came out, it was very much a throwback to those classic Hollywood epics, but in this whole modern way. I love everything about it. Also, one of my go-tos, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Fucking love that movie. If I ever feel sad or I just need to pick me up, I watch that film.
Oh, I can tell you.
Love it.
Before you tell me your third film, I
Yeah.
can tell you my go-to film to make me feel good. It's freaking
I love
nerdy.
asking people this question. I don't
Freaking
care.
nerdy.
No judgments ever.
Contact.
Contact?
Yeah.
I was looking at that DVD the other day. I was like, should I buy this? Because it's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm okay to go. I love that movie. I love that movie because she's like chasing funding to try and get this, you know, because she's looking for little green men on different stars and different planets, and then she's got the headset on and she hears the first signal from outer space, and she knows at that point that she's succeeded, and there's this thing that washes over you, and you're like, oh, she did it! And then Drumlin comes in, her dad, not dad, you know, because her father died when she was young, and then you know, the senior scientist takes her spot on the ship, and you're like, oh, you bastard! And then, you know, terrorism takes him out, and you're like, she gets a chance!
Did you?
Makes me feel great.
Has that movie ever made you cry? It made me cry.
I definitely get a lump in the throat on that one.
Yeah.
I don't think I cried in that film. There's films that make me cry, but I don't think that one has done it.
What film have you cried in the most, do you reckon?
Oh, I'd say My Girl.
I can't even watch that anymore. Like,
That's a difficult film
It
to-
scarred
that's-
me as a child.
Yeah.
I just had never experienced loss like that before. And then even as I got older, it still hit hard. And that has attached itself so deeply within me of how sad that was. I can't even go there.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
And he goes up and he kicks the little beehive, and it's like, and it all starts. And you're like, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. And then she has to give the eulogy, and it's fucking harsh, man. It's fucking harsh.
What a powerhouse little girl.
Oh, look, I've got another one for you.
Yep.
I've got another one. It's the competitive film to Contact.
The competitive film.
Armageddon. I get a lump in my throat on that one as well, because he's on the moon. He's about like, you know, I can't believe it's a Michael Bay film that does this to me.
Yeah.
But he's saying goodbye to his daughter before he like blows himself up. Not on the moon, sorry, on the asteroid.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and yeah, that's a really touching moment. You know.
You know what gets me? Goodbyes and sacrifices. When friends sacrifice themselves for their friends or things like that, it kills me so much. I'll cry at things that are beautiful or happy or sad. Like, I'm a crier. I can't even hide it. Like, when I saw Lion in the cinema, I walked from the cinema to my car. Just I couldn't
Go and weep. You had to leave the
weep.
cinema to weep.
I wept all the way home, and I was like, Adrian, calm the fuck down. I had my sunglasses on walking to my car, and I was still like...
Oh, Jesus.
It really hit me. Because at the end of the film, they show you the real footage of him seeing his mum for the first time in what, like 30 years? And it just broke me.
Yeah.
The beautiful stuff, it kills me.
Yeah, the beautiful stuff does do it as well. Yeah. What's your third film from that time?
I'd say American Beauty.
Oh, yeah, it's a show. I can't watch it now, though.
I know.
Sucks.
Right?
It sucks.
It really sucks.
It sucks because it's such a good movie.
That movie actually changed my life. It changed... There's only been a handful that have done that.
Lester Burnham was one of my heroes, man.
Honestly. I had never seen just a take on life that way, and then it completely rewired my mindset. I was like 13.
Yeah.
And it really hit home. It just... I don't know, it just kind of almost made me grow up in a way. But wow.
Yeah, there's another movie I quoted a lot. Yeah, someone would go, hey, Ross, you got a minute? Hey, for you, I got 5.
So good.
Yeah. No, I really like that movie, but I haven't watched it since the Me Too movement. Haven't watched it since.
Neither have I. I
can't bring myself to do it. Perhaps at some point I can get over it and realise that...
It was just... Like, at that point in time, we were not aware or whatever.
Yeah, but maybe I could look at it as a piece of art where it doesn't have the connotations behind it. Maybe I can get to that point at some point, but I'm just not at that point.
It's all just been so poisoned, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really tarnished it. It's tarnished it.
It has. Even when I see things like House of Cards sitting on the shelf in a JB Hi-Fi, I'm like,
frustrating.
I just want to turn it away.
I don't even get to see the end of it.
Look, from what I hear, it's not even that good.
Yeah.
So don't.
Because that was very good as well. I loved his accent in it. It was really good because it had this sinister undertone to it, and I really dug that. Yeah.
Totally.
But I'd have to say, one of the a film from my early adult life, I would say would be Fight Club.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good old Fight Club.
I can quote that film from start to end.
Yeah.
Quote it often.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. I'm not even joking. Still a great film. Especially for its commentary on society and I guess toxic masculinity in a way. But I picked up the twist in the first 15 minutes. I knew that Brad Pitt was part of his...
So did I.
Okay, good, because a lot of people will talk about this twist as if it's like the biggest thing since Darth Vader.
I got booed out of The Sixth Sense, man. I got booed out of that film.
I totally called it as a kid. I was like, no one else is seeing this guy.
I can tell you the point where that movie tipped it over for me.
Yeah.
Some people don't even know they're dead. And I've gone, he's dead.
Oh my God, obviously.
People throwing popcorn. Boo!
You're all lying to yourselves. You knew the twist. It's obvious. Like,
so obvious. People are like, I just couldn't believe the twist. And I'm like, it's pretty obvious to me, man. Pretty obvious.
No offense.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
I don't know. But I watch a lot of movies, though, and I analyse them.
This is
I
true.
psychoanalyse them. I read deep into it. I'm a bit of a thinker when it comes to that.
I've been watching movies since I basically came out of the womb. So I feel like, in a way, I have much more of an analytical brain when it comes to stuff like that. I'll be looking for things like that, or I pick up on them even if I don't want to.
Yeah.
My cross to bear.
I'll be sitting down watching a movie with someone and go, how did you even notice that?
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's there to be seen. They put it in the movie. Why haven't you noticed it? This is the real question.
That's it.
But I realise that people are just different thinkers. And I'm a visual thinker, and I like to see the angle in things.
Yes.
And films always have an angle. They have a context, a subtext, and there's always a subterfuge.
So true.
And then the better the subterfuge in a film, the better the movie is. That's
it. And that's another great thing, like, that parallels with life that I just love film for. Like, it just makes you look at things from every perspective. And I feel like it's something people should do more.
Yeah. And even making them. Like, I went through a period of learning how to make films. It spoiled films for a little bit. But then I realised now I have an education in film, I can go back and watch every film I've ever watched.
That's right.
So it opened a whole new world. So I got to see films in a different light again. But that was really cool. Really cool part of my life actually is having a sub-life crisis and going
Sub-life crisis?
Yeah, it wasn't a midlife crisis because I was too young for that.
Sub-life.
A sub-life crisis.
I like that. I'm going to use that when I have a sub-life crisis.
Oh, you will? Yeah, because
Maybe next year.
Well, you remember when we were growing up, right?
Yeah.
People would tell you that you don't worry, you're going to have 3 careers in your life, right? And at that point, people say everyone has a midlife crisis, right? Well, you're going to have 3 crises in your life. One of them's a sub-life crisis, one of them's a midlife crisis, and one of them's towards the end of your life crisis.
Yeah, that's it. You know, yeah, it's true. It's true. Mine's my sub one. I don't know when it's gonna come up. It'll. Come
it'll just come and land on you. Don't worry about that.
I feel like I've already had so many sub life
Pre-subs.
crises.
Pre-sub crisis.
Like, luckily they haven't extended into like weeks and months at a time of an actual crisis. They kind of last for a couple of days where I'm like, what am I doing? But yeah, no, they'll happen. It happens to everyone.
It does. But unfortunately, Adrianne, we have come to an end.
Very unfortunate.
It is. But thank you so much for being on the show. And by the way, if people want to check out your photography, what's your website?
Yes, it's adriannearmida.com. Same for Facebook and Instagram. So you can check out my portraiture and my film stills there.
Yeah, and you're obviously on Star now.
I'm on Star now as well, under the same name. You can find me that way.
Right, so go and check Adrianne out online and hire her as a photographer, hire her as an actor. And once again, thank you so much for being on the show. And so that's the Pagey Train, and we'll see you next time.
I think we should cheers.
Oh, cheers. I will totally cheers to that.
Cheers. Thanks for having me, Ross.
No worries.